Hello everybody, my name is Shelly and I am ridiculously happy that you guys are here. Today I thought I would play with a little bit of new Elf. I picked up a couple products recently when I picked up the Halo Glow. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I do have that. I gotta be honest, I don't wear it very often because I think I've tried two different shades now and I think that they just read too light. So I went darker than I thought I needed to go. This is the Elf Halo Glow Liquid Filter. Pretty sure this is shade medium, so medium tint. So I figured I'd show you how I've been using it. I've been playing with this now for just about a week. I travel for work, if you guys are not aware. So I don't have a ton of time to just sit sometimes at home. Sometimes when I'm at home, I'm trying to get caught up on all the stuff that I didn't do when I was on the road. So while I've been playing with it, I haven't filmed with it yet. So what I've been using this as, and what I think I like it the most as, is actually like a primer. So I'm just putting this, I put the majority of it, swiped it on my cheeks, and I'm just using my fingers to apply. I think it goes on perfectly smooth. I've got clean hands. I don't see any reason with that. I know some people don't like to get their hands all gunked up when they put on makeup, but I do that anyway. And the kind of look I'm doing today, I'm gonna get my hands all in it. So as you can see, it gives me a nice radiance, and it's not darker than the rest of my face, even though I thought this would be way too dark, because it's a relatively sheer and shiny finish. I think the color is actually really nice. And I'm not upset by the color at all. The areas that I think I might need a little bit more coverage, like maybe I'm gonna go in with a Revlon Photo Ready. Elf makes these too. I just happen to have this one open. There's a little bit of color corrector. I mean, it's kind of a concealer, but not really. And I just think it just really helped under my eyes. A little bit of circles today. I'm not really, well, I guess most days. I'm not new. I mean, I'm not young. Sometimes I have felt like I needed to go over the top of it with something else, but I think I'm gonna leave it alone. I was fully prepared to go over the top of it with a different product, but it's gonna stay the way it is right now. Okay, I do feel like when you put something like the Elf Camo Powder Foundation over the top of it, it can get a little thick in places. So I'm gonna steer away from doing that. I'm just gonna leave my skin the way it is. Okay, let's get into putty bronzers. These are not new to my channel. I've used these before. I did pick up a trio of their putty, what's it called? Putty Tools Trio. I'm pretty sure I have most of these little brushes already. So I've got a putty blush, a putty primer, and a putty bronzer brush. This putty bronzer brush is actually pretty small. We're gonna go ahead and use it as it's intended. I did pick up the putty bronzer in two different shades, although they almost look like they're about the same stage. I'm gonna use Honey Drip, which just happens to be the one that I grabbed. Again, I think that they're pretty interchangeable. And on me, just a subtle cream bronzer. Okay, so the makeup look I'm doing today is one that I've been reaching for quite a bit when I'm not really testing new product, not really planning on going to many places. I mean, for today, I have to do a couple of errands, but it's ridiculously hot out and cream products just seem to, I don't know, feel more refreshing, if that even makes sense. I know my face is gonna get a little sweaty anyway, using their little brush, and it was fine. I didn't use putty primer today. Obviously I used this instead, and I used the wand on there to apply it. Now I do have three different types of blushes. I have the original putty blush, I have the luminous putty blush, and then I have a Jelly Pop Flush Blush. Two of the Jelly Pops, two of the luminous, and four of the original putty blushes. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little of one of the original ones, and then maybe we'll doctor it up with a little bit of another one here. So I'm gonna take this one, which is kind of a label on the side. I wish they would have put labels on the bottom. The label on the side doesn't actually have the shade name. So it's the one that's a little bit more of a reddish brown color. We're going to take that with their putty blush brush, and I'm going just right over the top of bronzer. The two products are very well together, and they look fine over the top of that luminous flawless filter. However, I can see my little sun damage peeking through right there. Can you guys see that? So not a perfect flawless look makeup. We will set it in a little while, so I'm not worried if it's a little heavy right now, because I will blot it down a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go in with one of the luminous putty blushes. That's going to be kind of a highlighter-ish look. I'm going to use one that's a little bit more corally. These are not very expensive at all, but because they're a luminous, I'm going to get a little bit of sheen on them. So I'm going to keep it up away from my texture because it kind of goes along with the whole blush thing. I'm not worried at all feel about it looking too much like highlighter. Okay, I'm gonna take the clean, this is the primer brush that was in the kit, and I'm just gonna use it to kind of buff in a little bit, and I'm basically just stippling it, and then where I really wanna smooth out a line, I might swipe a little bit more, but we're stippling it to make the products meld together. And yes, I'm somebody who likes to overabuse blush. Okay, you guys, I was excited about these. I picked up 3 of the No Budge eyeshadows. These are a cream product. The first one I picked up is in shade Canyon, which is kind of a light, dusty apricot color maybe. This is Canyon right here. So that's the shade. I'm gonna take this shade all over my movable lid. And unlike some of the cream eyeshadows out there, I don't think these set down too fast. I know like if you're gonna use the Too Faced ones, you have to do one eye and get it locked into place because otherwise it'll dry down before you can even really manipulate it into place. And these ones I think stay a little more pliant, a little bit longer. So I don't think you have to do like, I don't think you have to rush. I think take your time. And they say they're a No Budge. I think the last time I wore these, I had kind of a rough day, but as I got to the end of the day, I did notice some creasing. But today I'm only gonna be out and about for a couple hours and I don't need to have perfect eyeshadow. I think what I'm gonna do is after I go run and get groceries and I don't know where else we have to go, I'm gonna probably just sit and edit. Edit film. Maybe I'll come back and film. I've got some other stuff here I wanna film, so I might come back later on and do it. Okay, and then I picked up 2 other shades. One of them is called, this one's called Sand Dune. So it's kind of a little bit more of a transition shade. And then I also picked up a third one, and this one's called Plateau, and it is the darkest of the 3 shades. And I'm somebody who, I normally do 3 shades on an eye look, typically, but this is that's Plateau. Definitely the darker, richer of the shades. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little, I just had this little brush from BH. So I'm gonna start how I normally do my eyeshadow, kind of on the outside above the lash line, and then work it into my crease. I'm gonna keep this down a little bit lower because I feel like it's going on pretty thick, and then I'll stipple and buff it. I feel like this actually is a really good shade for kind of like all of the lid too. It just so happened to be that I picked up 3 of them, so we're going through all 3. And I didn't pick up any more this time. I'm just kind of taking whatever's left on my brush. And because that other shade is still a little tacky, I'm trying to make sure to pat it on instead of swiping it on around the edges. Make sure that the saturation level. This one, even though it's called, what did I say, sand? Over the top of that pink Canyon shade, it almost looks a little gray. So if you're not looking for a cool tone, but if you're somebody who prefers cool toned cream eyeshadow, this might be a great one. And this is like literally what I've been doing most mornings, just super fast, all cream products. Okay, this is Plateau, and I've got the same brush. I'm just going to take it on the tip here, and I'll put a little bit of it out here, kind of define the eye. And yeah, I've been using this for, you know, my work from home days or days that I just don't want to have to think too much. And no, most days that I work from home or that I'm just, you know, puttering around the house or whatever, not going anywhere. I think there's been mixed reviews on the putty bronzers. I think some people are saying they didn't like them as much. I didn't have any problem with them all. They're fine for me. Okay, I'm not an expert though, you know? So maybe if I were more of a professional makeup artist, I'd be like, oh, they're junk. I don't feel that way at all. Okay, so I'm gonna leave those the way they are. Sometimes I will take a little palette like this. This is an eyeshadow, 6-pan eyeshadow. It's a Velvet Touch eyeshadow, and I feel like they're very creamy. They're almost like a putty shadow, even though they're called Velvet Touch. I feel like they're a putty eyeshadow as well. So I'm gonna take a little of one, and these are all shimmers. I'm gonna take that eye right here, just to kind of brighten it up ever so slightly. I think I picked this up relatively recently as well. This acid green color, I love. Super pretty. You gotta be careful. And I think I didn't realize they were cream at first, and I was applying it with a brush. And I was like, why is this not really transferring to my eyes? Couldn't figure it out. Eventually figured it out. All right, I'm just taking one of my little putty brushes here and just kind of smoothing things out just a little bit. That's all I'm doing for my eyeshadow. I'm really not that specific about them today. We put some mascara on and we'll be right back. Okay, you guys, one of the things that I'm noticing on, I need a different brush here, on this eyeshadow is just a little tiny bit of creasing, which leads me to believe I just went on too heavy with the product. And the last thing before we head out of here, one of the last things before we head out of here is I picked up another one of these mauve triangle, what are they called? Love triangle? Yeah, love triangle lip filler liner. This is that mauve shade. I've gone through a couple of these already. This is my favorite shade. It's a creamy formula. I don't mind the teardrop shape. I don't really use it to fill in so much. I don't think the end is that thick. I almost wish they had a thicker end on the other side. But even though it's called mauve, it's like a plummy brown. And it's one of those lip liners that I think goes with a ton of different colors. Okay, I picked up another one of their glossy lip stains. This one's called Basic Beige. I think this is the same shade that I've had before. And they're inexpensive enough that when I'm placing an order, I just kind of do the add to cart thing. Sometimes they throw these in with their, like if you're part of the Elf Squad, you get like the gift with purchase. Super lightweight, not tacky or sticky at all. Shade is subtle enough, warm enough, not too orange. I don't know what about it is beige. It's not really beige to me. I'm gonna put a little tiny bit of setting powder on really fast. Got a little RCMA because it's kind of like my go-to. Really get them to stay quite a bit longer. Same concept as if you're layering a cream blush and then you put a powder blush over the top of it. You're really kind of just setting that cream product. That toned down so much. My makeup feels light. It doesn't feel too heavy and cakey. It doesn't feel too dark. It doesn't feel too made up. It just feels like a nice Saturday makeup. So I'm gonna go run and do some errands. Let me put some setting spray on really fast here. What do I have? I got the Ciate Everyday Vacay one. I haven't used this in a while. That's gonna help beat the heat and go run some errands. And in case you wonder what I've been doing lately, there's been a lot of this simple putty products from Elf. The flawless filter, this thing right here, what is it called? Halo Glow. It's not flawless filter, but the Halo Glow liquid filter, I actually really like it. I could maybe go and put a little bit more on top as, you know, just for the high points, but I actually like the way my skin looks. It's not too glowy, it's a little glowy, it's not too effervescent. All right, you guys, I hope you guys are doing really well. I hope you guys consider sticking around and hitting the subscribe button. Elf is a great budget-friendly brand. I'm not sponsored, affiliate, endorsed. I get nothing in PR. I bought all this stuff with my own money, and I use it. And that's kind of the key is, are we using the stuff that we have, or are we just throwing money away? So hopefully you're using the stuff that you have. I encourage you to go through your collection and get rid of stuff that's expired. If you're not sure how long you've had it, rid of it. Don't keep stuff that's going to be bad on your face. All right, you guys, I hope you're doing really well, and until next video. Bye for now.